Now they won't even let us get on with our work without some bugger sticking their nose in. Why did Po-Face have to send Casser off the kitchen? It's dangerous enough having to eat the tucker as it is.
Oh, stop whinging, Lizzie. Cass'll be all right. A change is as good as a rest anyway.
You missed your calling, Donovan. You should be writing mottos for Christmas crackers.
You certainly missed yours, dear. I'm quite sure your disposition could curdle milk.
Bloody Phyllis has taken the skip. That's my job. Why she has to go up and take my
give it
skip?
a rest, Lizzie. Where's Mary? She's meant to be in here with us, isn't she?
She is. I heard Po-Face call her name after Muster. Bloody wonderful. 2 days out of hospital and they send her back to work. Certainly want their pound of flesh.
Yes, dear. Well, someone must have seen her. She's got to be around somewhere.
Well, she was talking to Mr. Bridges after Muster, but that was ages ago.
She's probably found some nice warm place to curl up in. And Mr. Bridges wouldn't give her away. He's a real gentleman. Where do you think you're off to? There won't be anybody left in here soon.
I'm going to the toilet, if that's all right with you.
Yeah. I hope you get caught in it and drown on the S-bend.
Oh, Lizzie, that's terrible.
Well, I can't help it. She gets on my goat. Talking of which, I thought you said you were going to do something about the freak men.
Oh, give me a chance, dear.
Well, I reckon they'll all be in it. Even Mary and Frances hate her guts now, and I reckon she's the reason why Casa beat them up. There won't be anyone to argue against it.
Except one.
Who?
Sonia. And she mustn't get to know about this, or she'd go straight to the freak.
She'd lag on all of us. Do you really think so?
She'd sell her own grandmother, dear.
Probably already has.
Oh, good morning.
Ah, Paul Reynolds.
That's right.
I'm Samantha Russell. Pleased to meet you.
Likewise. Now, let me see. A wedding? No, passport photos. I've got a 15-minute service. 4 prints for $9.
I already have my passport. I think we're at cross purposes. I'm Sam Russell.
The solicitor? Oh, hell, I'm sorry. Well, Robbo didn't tell me you were a female. He just said you were a crash-hot lawyer. I'm not late for my appointment, am I?
Oh, no, I'm early. I thought I'd save you a trip into the city. Actually, I prefer to meet my clients on their territory. Well, they become a bit formal as soon as they take in the legal atmosphere in our offices. And, formal's a pain in the bum, agreed?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not exactly what you pictured as a crash-hot lawyer, am I?
Well, something like that.
Well, don't worry, Paul. Even the stuffiest of my colleagues concedes I know my job. Now, is there somewhere that we can sit down and discuss these charges?
Sure, we're just over here.
All right, Stevens. Now, what the hell are you up to this time?
Now, look, this is a business venture. That's not going to cause you any hassles.
No hassles, eh? You know what happens to blackmailers? They either spend years inside or they're found with their heads smashed in.
Blackmail?
You're playing a dangerous game, lady, and you picked the wrong one to play it with. Oh, yes, I'll pay that money, all right, because I've got no other choice. But don't you ever count on spending a cent of it. Now, get to the laundry.
Let's discuss this. You want the tape back?
Oh, don't you worry. I'll get it back. But your little friend had better not count on making any copies of it. Because if I don't get him, Stevens, I'll kill you. And that is a promise.
And Miss Bryant then told you that Hazel Kent had asked her to kill her?
Yes, that's right.
Objection! Your Honour, the defence is trying to introduce hearsay evidence.
Objection sustained. You know better than that, Mr. Goldsmith.
I apologize, Your Honour, and withdraw the question.
The jury is instructed to disregard the witness's answer, which will be struck from the record. You may proceed, Mr. Goldsmith.
Thank you, Your Honour. Now, Mr. Wallace, can you tell us Judy Bryant's attitude to this situation, her mental state?
Yes, I can.
Objection! Your Honour, this calls for an unqualified opinion from the witness.
Your Honour, the defendant's state of mind is integral to my case. I must do my duty to my client. And Mr. Wallace is qualified by reason of his association with the defendant.
Objection overruled. You may answer the question.
Mr. Wallace?
She was being torn apart. She did everything she could for Hazel. She put herself on the rack, mentally and physically. But the only thing Hazel wanted was to die. and Judy agonized about that. All she wanted to do was to save Hazel from further pain.
Thank you, Mr. Wallace. No further questions.
One moment, please, Mr. Wallace.
I'm sorry?
I have only one question. Is it not a fact that Judy Bryant admitted administering a fatal dose of morphine to Hazel Kent on the night in question?
Well, yes, but, I mean,
No further questions, Your Honor.
The witness is excused. You may call your next witness, Mr. Goldsmith.
Thank you, Your Honor. There is only one person who can tell us exactly what happened in this case. I call the defendant, Judy Bryant.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Your name is Judith May Bryant,
Yes, that's right.
and your address is 46 Balmain Street, Wentworth.
Yes.
And you run Driscoll House, and you are careers advisor for Wentworth Detention Centre.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, Miss Bryant, I want you to tell the court, in your own words, of the events leading up to Hazel Kent's death.
Okay. Hazel was, well, she was the sort of person that never had a decent break in her life. Her husband dumped her, and she lost custody of her kids. Then she started hitting the bottle. She was drinking so
Objection.
much.
This is irrelevant, Your Honor.
Agreed, Mr. Goldsmith?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Bryant, just tell us what happened after you found out that Hazel Kent was ill.
Okay. I'm sorry. When Hazel told me, I didn't know what to say. I felt so sad and so sorry for her. But for a while in the beginning, she had good days. I mean, there were some days when we'd even forget about it. We'd just go about as normal friends would, you know. And then, well, the pain got really bad.
What happened then?
Hazel went blind. That was awful. She was in pain all of the time. The only thing that I could do for her was sit with her, but I felt so useless. You see, she knew. We both knew that there was no hope. I don't think that you can understand what it's like unless you've actually seen someone you care about die in front of your very eyes. Anyway, I knew what she's going to ask me. I dreaded that because I knew I'd have to say no. And I did say no. Well, it was like I hit her. She kept asking. She begged me. The pain was so bad. She couldn't eat. She couldn't sleep. She only wanted to die. Now I had to do something. I was the only person that could help her. I couldn't bear to see her suffer anymore. And when I gave her the pills, she thanked me. Hazel thanked me.
No further questions?
Put all the dirty tea towels in with the sheets. I'd never do that.
So what? It's all got to be washed.